Welcome to the session where Sunrise Supported Living Limited offers hints and tips about parenting. Today is the 3rd of June 2024. I will not be offering practical hints regarding parenting, but I will be discussing the state's, the government's interests in the welfare of children, which results in some instances with children's services being involved in the child's family life. The main tool that I'll be discussing is the Convention on the Rights of the Child, which was adopted in 1989. In this convention, different governments, different states promised to offer support regarding the care of children. It is therefore not only the electorate, the guardian, the parent who is to work hard in terms of protecting, safeguarding children, but also the state itself did make some promises that they will offer some help. 196 states, only one in the world hasn't ratified the Convention on the Right of the Child. So there is an expectation of the services being offered, which means that if there are any gaps that are notified by the community, by the parents, there could be discussions with children's services, with counselors, with MPs, making reference to the convention that was signed. So that's what I'll be discussing today. But if I look at what exactly were the triggers, what really led the governments to have an interest regarding the welfare of children, the main thing is that this was influenced by reports of grave injustices suffered by children. There were high infant mortality, deficient health care, limited opportunities for basic education. There were also alarming accounts of children being abused and exploited in prostitution, being in harmful jobs, being in prison. Some were refugees, some victims of armed conflict. So the Convention on the Rights of the Child was adopted by the General Assembly of the United Nations by its resolution of 44/25 of 20 November 1989. This was the outcome of a process which had begun with the preparation for the 1979 International Year of the Child. That year, discussion started on a draft convention submitted by the government of Poland. So children had already been discussed much earlier. It was not only the first time, because you will note that there was a Geneva Declaration of the Rights of the Child back in 1924, and also there was the Declaration of the Rights of the Child, which was adopted by the General Assembly on the 20th November 1959. So there had always been worries about the care of children. But after the adoption of the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child of 1989, there was states, governments agreed that there will be a monitoring process. So each state has got its own monitoring process to which they will be submitting reports to the United Nations, spelling out the progress they have made in protecting, safeguarding children, and making sure that resources are available and services are available for parents in meeting their children. There are certain basic fundamental values that led to this agreement. One was that it was the recognition of the inherent dignity and of the equal and inalienable rights of all members of the human family, that it is the foundation of the freedom, justice, and peace in the world. And also the proclamation by the United Nations that childhood is entitled to special care and assistance. There was also the recognition that the family as the fundamental group of society and the natural environment for the growth and well-being of all its members, and particularly children, should be afforded the necessary protection and assistance so that it can fully assume its responsibilities within the community. So recognizing that the child, for it to realize its potential, there should be support available, and also that noting that the child, by reason of his physical and mental immaturity, needs special safeguards and care, including appropriate legal protection before as well as after birth. So in the convention that was agreed, there are 4 general principles that help in understanding and interpreting the convention. These are: 1, non-discrimination; 2, best interest of the child; 3, right to life, survival and development; and 4, right to be heard. So in these basic 4 principles, they assist in understanding the convention and the role of the state and also of yours as the parents. You find that state parties agree that they shall undertake all appropriate legislative, administrative, and other measures for the implementation of the rights recognized in the convention. And also they shall be acceptable focus to its economic, social, and cultural rights, and that states parties shall undertake such measures to the maximum extent of their available resources and where needed within the framework of international cooperation. So here we understand that in terms of the delivery of service, there shall be consideration of the economic status of the country. But as I already pointed out, that's mainly on the political side, that you are looking at what priority is given by the nation, because you look at the national budget, what percentage is allocated to children's services, as much as you look at education, defense, and so forth. So it will show the priorities that are given. So the children are not to be discriminated. They should be offered all the services. Families, as stated, the government stated that they shall support families. Families can be supported in the form of making clinics, hospitals readily available, assessments, pre-birth assessments, postnatal, all related depression, all services available, mental health, in terms of those who misuse substances, available information, and also those who have been addicted, what is available to help them abstain from the addiction. The issue is that as a family, as the electorate, you are looking at what is it that can be done by the family, and also look at what is happening in the community, what services can be offered by the government, making reference to the declaration that was ratified. Just giving some simple examples of undertakings that different states that ratified the agreement is promised, that they shall respect the responsibilities, rights, and duties of parents, where applicable, the members of the extended family. State parties recognize the right of the child to be protected from economic exploitation and from performing any work that is likely to be hazardous or interfere with their development. State parties shall take all appropriate measures, including legislative, administrative, social, and educational measures, to protect children from illicit use of drugs. State parties shall undertake to protect the child from all forms of sexual exploitation and sexual abuse. So you can see all these, there are a lot, these run up to 54 articles in this Convention on the Rights of the Child of 1989. It is a document that you can be used as a standard measure to see how much progress has been made in protecting and safeguarding children, and making sure that you can form an opinion as to the extent the government is prioritizing the care and safety of children. It is not only the parent, but it is not also only the government. It is working together to make sure that children are safe, they are protected from harm that is avoidable. That's what I wanted to discuss today. We'll meet you in some next sessions where there'll be some specific parenting techniques. But today I'm saying you are not alone as a parent, as an electorate in safeguarding your child. But the government has made some undertakings that it will provide support services that are available. They should be accessible. They should be non-discriminatory. If there are any difficulties, you should be able to approach your counselor, children's services, MP, making reference to the declaration that was ratified to say this is what was ratified. Children remain exposed to harm. What needs to be done? Government said that they will work together, even including children with disabilities. They will share all the information. They want to be proactive in terms of protecting children because they are saying they are young, they are impressionable, they can easily be taken advantage of, they are at risk, even at risk from those who care for them if they lead a lifestyle that puts them at a significant risk of harm. So as I've said, today I was just looking at that. You are not alone. The government made undertakings. Refer to the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child of 1989. You Google that, you will see what the promises the governments made. And also then also yourself as the parent, also look at your role in making sure that the environment is safe for the child. Thank you. I'll meet you next time.